Karen!
Hi there, how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
Thanks very much for being
Good
here.
to see you.
It's a pleasure.
you.
Please sit down.
All right.
Take a seat. Oh yeah, watch out for that mic.
Sit there. There you go.
You're watching EW Lightbulb, presented by Glade. Peter and Bobby Farrelly, thank you guys so much for being here today. I want to talk just a little bit, first of all, about the process. I mean, you two guys, you're brothers and you're collaborators. Sometimes when brothers are that close in age, there's a lot of competition.
We weren't competitive.
No, I mean, we were competitive people, but we were never that competitive with each other.
No.
We were always like on the same team. When we came to LA, which is about 25 or 30 years ago now, we were inspired by the Zucker brothers. And those guys were like, when we met them, we were like, wow, these guys are so cool. They never win Hollywood. They're just regular guys, and they're extraordinarily funny. And we wanted to be those guys. So it's been great that we've been able to work together and make comedies, too.
Well, one thing that I love about Dumb and Dumber that I think really defines a lot of your guys' work, it doesn't feel that that tightly plotted. There's a real kind of carefree sense to it, and the way that the comedy just kind of flows in all kinds of crazy directions. But I assume it kind of has to be a very controlled chaos to a certain extent.
Yeah, that's a good question. Because it's not plot heavy, because it really is a character piece. It's them on the road, and it's the little things. Certainly over time, it's become more and more little things as the movie has aged. The studio was asking us, they said, cut the line, so you tell me there's a chance, because it got no laughs, none.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Like when we tested that, it's not a big laugh. It's not the type of thing you'd howl at. But as the movie has aged, the littler things have become more.
The little lines that people remember, they were not the lines that were getting laughs in the in the original premiere 20 years ago. But if you watch it over and over and over, those lines are the ones that stick with you, and those are the ones that are quoted now.
I want to go back to the year is 1998. There's Something About Mary comes out. Do you guys think that, as you've gone along, do you have a better sense now of when the lines are going to be the lines that people really like, or is it still sort of a crapshoot whenever you're going into a new movie?
You can't really tell.
I would say it's a total crapshoot.
You fight for those lines that you think are going to have a life of their own later, and it's hard to tell which ones will.
We just do what we think is going to be funny, but we're not 100% sure that we're right.
In my memory, so much of the coverage of that movie focused on this notion of the Farrelly Brothers have a tone, and it was this fact of, here's a movie that is a little bit gross out, but also very sweet. There is a real kind of whimsy to it, a real kind of carefreeness to it. Did you guys feel like we're trying to mix all these things together, or was that just more intuitive?
Our favorite show growing up was Andy Griffith's show. Andy Griffith's show was great because it always made you laugh, but it also had a little heart or message to it, and we wanted to do that. And in fact, when we started doing it, and Dumb and Dumber was our first movie, we have that scene at the beginning of the movie where Jim's at the window, and he's like, he gets totally serious, says, come on, man, I don't have anybody, I don't have anything. He's trying to get Harry to go to Aspen with him.
I'm sick and tired of having nobody.
The studio looked at that and said, cut that. They said, that's a bunch of bull. Like, what are you kidding? It's a comedy. He said, no, you need this. And they kept fighting, and we said, look, in 2 minutes, he's selling a dead bird to a blind kid in a wheelchair. You better like him. And that was our argument, always, that there should be one other layer of reality.
Well, now, I'd be intrigued to know, so returning to those characters, was it exciting? Was it scary to decide to come back and do Dumb and Dumber 2?
It was really scary, but that's the only thing. You always want to be scared. When you start a project, if you're not scared, you're not inspired.
We said a bunch of times that we would rather not make it than make it, incorrectly or do a disservice to the first one.
When you guys are writing, I'd be intrigued to know, are you kind of passing drafts back and forth? Are you literally kind of over each other's shoulders, one person typing, one person talking?
Well, we write with another partner, too, Bennett Yellen, and we've been writing with him for a long time. But with the writing process, you really have to get together. We don't write individually and then send things back and forth. We have to get in a room and
lock yourself in.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Get pages down.
Try to shut the TV off
for a few weeks. That's the best way when you are living it morning, noon, and night. Sleeping it, getting up, doing it again. That's what works for us.
You worked on Fever Pitch, where the last 30 minutes had to change quite a bit in the process of making it.
What happened, of course, was that the Red Sox went and won the World Series for the first time in 86 years while we were shooting it. So we had to change it on the fly, and it was a little tricky. It was fun.
The fortunate part was we had Lowell Gantz and Babalu Mandel wrote that script. That's the only script we ever made that we did none of the writing on. And so they were doing all the writing.
Completely, but we're huge Red Sox fans, so it was an awful lot of fun for us.
So what for you guys is the most exciting part of this whole process? Is it the writing? Is it the filming? Is it the editing?
The writing is far and away the hardest part.
Yeah.
If you take 120 blank pages of paper and put them on a table like that over there and say, hey guys, fill that thing up with funny stuff and a good story, I'll be back in 2 months, Like, that's a daunting.
Yeah, every
project.
page needs to pop.
Yeah.
You're like, please get to
That's
it.
daunting. It really is.
Comedies where you don't care about the people can be great. There's many of them, but the last act, you're worn out because all you're really there for is the jokes, and we didn't want that. We wanted the last act. We wanted you to be there to see what would happen and really care and wonder. And that's why we have little turns and twists. We try not to give you what you would expect, but we want you to be on the edge of your seat, hopefully, and want to see it through.
Watch all of EW Lightbulb, presented by Glade.